decision last year to make the matches that bit longer has only added to the prestige further.
As always, we start with the lag nearest to the top rail. Will break first. Don't need to break first, but we've never seen anybody pass up the break. Why would you? Because if you put the 9 on the break, you would win the rack. The main thing is, Filler's got to try and pop the one ball in the side pocket, and you stay at the table.
Deep breath, bracing himself. Joshua Filler, the home favourite, starts off what should be a wonderful day here in Hildesheim.
He's missed the one ball. He's going to need a random ball. Oh, it's just fell. A random ball. It was the 2 ball, wasn't it?
It's also fallen nicely on the 1.
Nice little opening pot. He would have liked the cue ball a little bit further out into the centre of the table. That would have meant the 3-ball pot that he's about to take on would have been a little bit easier. So this is an early test. This type of shot, if you pot it, really help you feel relaxed. A little wide. It was a little wide.
It's come through a lot in all sorts of ways to get to this final day of the tournament. We were talking earlier about that foot injury he did yesterday, and those are the benefits of youth. I spoke to him before the match and assured me his foot is absolutely fine and no obvious signs of it bothering him at all. He's also been quite ill for the last few weeks. He's had a very bad cold which won't go away, and really when he started out in the tournament on the opening night he didn't look well at all. Even in a match with a potential 21 racks, first is always so important. You really can set the tone in a game where momentum is so important. You saw it last night, even with the stroke of fortune that Gorst had. Golden break with the very first shot of the match and got him off and running. And by the time Ocean registered at all, Gorst already had 6 racks on the board. No golden break here. But a run out from the break is perhaps even better as a confidence-building measure. Joshua Filler leads Copenhagen by 1 rack to 0. We heard from Filler before the match. What about the defending champ?
In the beginning, I can imagine win 10-1. I just want to win every rack, so very happy. Joshua Filler is very, very good player. So I think it will be one more exciting game. So I just do my best. My opponent is myself. If I play like this match, like I play FSR, maybe I can win the champion again. So I hope after 2 matches I can win and win. I like longer games, so I like race to 11.
You know, we may have as many as 67 racks to be played across the 3 matches here in Hildesheim on this final day of the World Masters. 1 already in the books, and it's gone the way in very clean and swift fashion in favour of Filler. He breaks in rack 2.
Missed the 1 ball again. The two ball actually didn't move until it got kicked, and it got kicked in the side pocket. Another tester, cue ball's near the rail. It's long. Position should be fairly natural. It's in the middle of the pocket. It's in the middle of the pocket. And this table sets up real nice now. Just look at where the balls are.
You know, a couple of years ago, we often saw players not get a shot until about the 5th or 6th rack of a match. The different breaking rules and the more punishing pockets. Nowadays, it doesn't happen so much. Even if you can get the first 2 racks on the board without your opponent getting to the table. Well, in 2024, that's regarded as an absolute flying start. It's the chance Filler has here. So he hasn't made the 1 ball off the break in either of the first 2 racks. Nevertheless, he's won them both without his opponent even getting to the table. Joshua Filler very quickly opens a 2-0 lead. Coupigny has come to play, but hasn't been allowed to yet. And as we've been saying, it's the 30th anniversary staging. Missed out a year or 2 along the way for different reasons. It was actually called the European Masters when it started all the way back in 1993, and you can see all those wins there for Ralph Souquet. Shane Van Bonen with his back-to-back successes in 14 and 15. And the name of Karol Skowerski there in 2012, particularly significant today, because he's the last player to win this title in his home country of Poland. Joshua Filler looking to emulate that. Filler has won the title before. A couple of years ago, the last of the Gibraltar era, and Coupigny succeeding him as the champion in Brentwood almost exactly a year ago. You've been to the semis of this, haven't you, Carl?
Yes.
Rack 3.
Neil's fire.
Joshua Filler's break, leading 2 racks to 0.
Actually, the year Neil's won it as well. He went on to win.
Now he's made the 1 in the side for the first time. The 3rd attempt. What's he got in the 2, Carl?
Looks like a safety shot coming up, so we may well see Coupigny come to the table, but it might not be pretty. Yeah, there you see a good look, so it will be the safety shot. Got a lot of balls though, so you expect some kind of hook. Left it a little bit shy of pace. Yeah, he can sort of see a little bit of it, even with a little bit of swerve, he can do something, but maybe he's going to try and swerve it and hit the 2 ball full. It was great, some distance. He could kick him behind, so he just made sure he got a good cue ball there, which he did.
Copenhagen first played in the World Masters as a teenager back in 2008. The two stars, Ralph Souquet and Tony Drago, to reach the semis where he lost to Mika Immonen.
Well done. Every day, every pool match is very much different. You know, we see big wins, we see hill matches. What we did see yesterday, up until the Shaw Van Bonin match, was very one-sided matches, and this rack here, Michael, I just feel like it's important for Copenhagen, because after this rack we'll go to a little break, and if he's 2-1 as he walks out the arena, gets a bit of fresh air for a couple of minutes, he'll be breaking in rack 4. Okay, he's going to have a chance. This is not an easy chance, because he's got awkward cueing and the 3-ball looks to be tied up. Gone wrong. Tried to get the cue ball back down table, but the double hit off the rail where the blue 2 contacted the cue ball.
Frustration continuing for Copenhagen, even when he has been getting to the table in this match. Been given a great deal to work with.
Looks like you can see a little piece of the blue 2. I'm wondering if he can just chip it up towards the top rail, cue ball into the 6, maybe draws it back a little bit behind the red 3 or near the 8-ball. Yeah, it's near the 8-ball, so that's the end of the yard. You could see the idea. It's actually very difficult. A lot of the shots on a pool table, sometimes you just stand behind them and there's no real obvious shot that kind of looks at you in the face. A bit like this one. Putting it into the top right is brutal. Maybe plays off it thin. Gets the 2 behind the 6 on the back rail. Yeah, that's what he's played. 2-ball needs to bounce though. If he hits the 3, he's left it. It's a poor one. The 2-ball's a foot short of pace. He's trying to find the top rail around the centre near the 6. Chance for Copenhagen. Got to get the first shot right here, though.
Not ideally where he would have placed it. A little bit of a test early on, having only just potted his first ball of the day. There he got to the semis on his debut all the way back in 2008. It was 14 years after that before he won a match in the World Masters again. And he was only playing in it sporadically, but when he did, he couldn't get past his opening challenge. And ended that by beating his brother, actually, and going on to reach the semis 2 years ago, where he lost to Joshua Filler.
Yeah, just look at the shot he's played there. Knew he needed a good angle on the purple 5. Now he'll come over towards the brown 7. Doesn't want to contact the brown 7. may have to play the 7 ball down the rail. Yeah, he's just come to have a look. Just because the angle's a little bit weird on this green 6. Watch out centre pocket. Watch out 7 ball. Yeah, he just knew the angle wasn't quite there to come down table, miss the 7 to play the 7 up into the top left. He's had a fortunate roll there. Tell you what, Michael, I tell you what, in the practice room where the tables have had loads of play, that would not have gone in.
So
Filler finally made the one in the side, off his break, but all it led to was an exchange on the blue 2. It went the way of Copigny, and from there he saw out the rack. Filler leads 2-1. The World Masters, one of the biggest titles in pool, and the last 2 winners of it are meeting in the semi-finals of this year's staging. Copigny won the 3rd rack, and so we'll see him breaking for the first time in the match. He's 2-1 down.
Does have a shot, it will be a lot thinner than that looks. So it means the cue ball's running down towards the bottom end of the table. I don't think he can hold the cue ball quick enough for a shot on the red 3 in the same pocket. And if you look at them 4 balls, the 8 ball, the 9 ball, the brown 7 and the pink 4, how do you avoid them with the cue ball? This is tough. Look at the gap he's had to find here. What a skillful shot from Ko there to find that little window.
Yeah, and having sat out breaking runs from his opponent in both of the first 2 racks, that shot gives him a realistic prospect finding one of his own here.
Yeah, he just looks a little bit agitated to me, does Coping. He usually is so cool and calm and sort of glides around the table. He looks a little bit edgy. He knows the power that Filler has and what he can do to opponents. I mean, seen what he did to his brother. He also knows he's playing in front of a home crowd.
Yeah, he'll be 35 at the end of next month, just a few days before the World Championship starts. A World Championship that he won 9 years ago. It was almost an all-Ko brothers final in that World Championship. Shane Van Boening beat Ko Ping Chung 11-1 in the semi-final. The Ko brother, you can see on your screen there, saw off Van Boening in a close final. I know what you mean, Carl. He does look a bit agitated, and I think we saw it there in his body language as he played that shot.
Well, we've seen it on the 8 ball. That let's be honest, shouldn't have fell, and this should never fall as well. And if these balls do fall, it's just because everything's just so new, so you have this slide on the ball. It doesn't kind of grip the rail the same when the cloth's a little bit older. That's gone a little bit wrong. Now he's got a little thin one, hasn't he? He'll love to punish Ko Ping-yi though for missing the 5 ball.
Well, that's it. When your opponent looks a bit agitated, as you described it, try to make him feel even more so.
Needs this to bounce. It's a great pot, but he's lost the cue ball. Well, a couple of options here. It's a brutal pot into this corner pocket here. What you can see, the one that he was trying to play on. The 7-9 would be very wild indeed. He's going for the bottom right corner. Oh, nice.
Saw this a number of times in his match against Ko Ping-chung yesterday, where he had chances to run out but had to keep coming up with answers and unpick the lock. Did it over and over again.
Fuller's gone for the bank, and he's nailed the bank, and he's perfect on the 9 ball. He decided he wasn't going to play safe, he was going to go for it, and what a decision that proves to be.
It's an early rack, but it feels like it could be a very big one. Ko had the chance of a run out, but unexpectedly missed the 5. And Joshua Filler has played so well to see it out from there and go 2 clear once again at 3-1. So this is the first of the 2 semi-finals. Jason Shaw and Fedor Gorst will be coming up directly after this. This is Jason Shaw, former US Open champion, Mosconi Cup legend, and now Mosconi Cup captain. And that is Fedor Gorst. His much younger opponent. We'll be seeing them in a little while. It's becoming, over the last number of months, Carl, perhaps the pool's biggest rivalry.
Yeah, if you missed the opening start of the show, well, first of all, where was you? But I explained it there, and I'll explain it again now. Obviously, it's coming up. The Shaw versus Gorst match. Well, Gorst used to represent Team Europe. Now he plays for Team USA. Shaw actually played in the team when Gorst played his only cup under Europe. And
Rack 5.
Shaw was not
Joshua
happy
Filler's a break. Leading 3 racks to 1.
that he moved over to Team USA, so he started to give him a little bit of stick about it. It went back and forth, and then soon after, Michael, the quarterfinals of Hanoi, they played each other, and Shaw got the victory in a close match, and Fedor missed that 7 ball right near the end. I'm sure you remember that 7 ball, Michael. And then we went to the Mosconi Cup. Things were a little heated there, and this is the first time they'll play each other in a singles event live on Sky Sports since.
First dry break of the match from either player. Could have turned out worse for Filler. Talking earlier about Ko Ping-yi winning the World Championship back in 2015. It was a real standout year for him. He also won the World Cup that year with Chang Yu-Lung. He beat the England pair of Mark Gray and Darryl Peach in the final in London. Peach, a former winner of this event, the youngest ever winner, in fact.
Yeah, it was actually called the European Open as well back then. There's the push out after the break.
Joshua,
the next
it's your
shot, the next incoming shot, the player has the option of playing a push out or a roll out. Filler's going to have the option of playing this shot though, so he comes to the table. He can give it back to Ko Ping-yi or play the shot. It's up to him.
It's not the first time these two have met in a semi-final this year. Just a few weeks ago, in the only previous Matchroom event in 2024, they met in the semis. Coe winning 7-3 to go through to the Premier League final, where he lost to Shane Van Boning.
No, he was just having a little look to see where the 9 would go. He sends the 1 ball into the pink 4. I think he's trying to play the bank into the bottom left corner. He's obviously trying to play a good cue ball somewhere as well, because he's not going to just rely on making this shot. So he's trying to play a two-way shot. He's looked at it. I hope he plays it, because this could be fascinating. The 9 ball is close. The 9 ball is close. The vision from Ko Ping-yi. He looked it for a couple of minutes and he nailed it.
Well, we were intrigued as to what he was planning there. What an outcome. Talk us through it again, Carl.
Yeah, he was eyeing it up, wasn't he? Look at the cue ball as well, not just the 9. He knew it was going close. He was trying to get the cue ball back up into that cluster as a two-way shot, but I tell you what, you don't often see these come off. That is genius stuff.
Yeah, and we talked about how he looked a little bit unsettled early on. That's the very thing that's going to start to make you feel a lot more comfortable in a match, and he's back to only 1 behind again.
That's why we play on a pocket. That's not like a snooker pocket, because you're going to take these type of shots on. You know, the pocket is going to take the ball.
There's his brother, Ko Ping-chung, no doubt wishing he was out there sharing the stage with them, but I'm sure very pleased to see what big brother did just there.
He didn't hit that break good, did he? You could tell with where the 1 ball went. Break's not really been there just yet. It was off the top jaw. Does have the easy hook here. You can just move the 1 ball away and get the cue ball onto the 9 ball. Oh, banking the 1 back onto the 9 to make it a little bit tighter. It's awkward, this, because kicking off the bottom rail into the 1 doesn't look like he can kick safe, does it? There we go, he's going off the long rail. Trying to get a bit of distance.
Foul stroke. Ball in hand.
Yeah, it was close, but I don't think there's any doubt he hit the 9 first.
Yeah, we always look at it from the TV screen, and you know, Joshua Filler would know better than anybody. He was right down on the shot. The reason why he went off the top rail is because he felt there was a higher percentage. If he hits it, good things could happen in his favour. But of course, missing it, you give up ball in hand. 1 shot in 9 ball pool. You can put the cue ball anywhere on the table. And all these balls are sat nicely to tie this one up. And if he does tie up, that's why we say you've got to be attacking, you've got to go for your shots. Copigny missed that long 5-ball, looked very edgy, looked nervous at the start of this match. He pulls off an exhibition shot and it could turn this match on its head and settle him down.
He really made his impact on last year's World Masters in Brentwood on the very first night. Blew away Jason Shaw by 9 racks to 1. And a fine quarter-final win over Shane Van Boning. Close semi-final against James Oranis, who's come in as a wild card and had a brilliant week. After a tournament full of close finishes, I think the last thing we were expecting in the final was a bit of a runaway, but it was exactly what we got. Cole beat Eklund Kachi by the considerable margin of 13-5.
I think Joshua Filler's in a little bit of shock. Things were going so well. Still early days, of course. It's now a race to 11. I'm just happy we've got off to a tight little battle here, Michael.
Copigny didn't get to the table in the first 2 racks, but he's won 3 out of 4 since then, and he's levelled this match now. It's 3-all in the semi-final. We're in Hildesheim in Germany for the World Masters, where we're down to the semi-final stage. And if you fancy catching a bit of live action for yourself, well, you can do so in just over a week from now. The 7th of May, that's Tuesday week, we'll be in Telford for the UK Open. And you can still get tickets on matchroompool.com. 256 players there. And a bit more elite at the World Championship, a field of 128. In just over a month from now, we'll compete for the title. Contested in Saudi Arabia for the very first time, Francisco Sanchez Ruiz defending the title he won in Poland last year. $1 million prize fund this time.
Rack 7. Copigny to break. Scores are tied, 3 racks each.
Copigny has won that title in the past. Right now, he's looking to retain his World Masters crown. He's drawn level with Joshua Filler for the first time since the start of the match. It's 3-all.
Cue ball's been kicked up towards the top of the table, but he does have a shot on this blue too.
Yeah, the 2 got a bit of a nudge as well, didn't it, from the 8-ball, keeping it away from the rail and giving him a better chance at this. Hasn't led yet in the match. This could be his chance.
It's another long one that's gone wrong. I just thought maybe he'd settled down now. I thought he would have been okay after the last couple of racks.
Filler was out of his chair so fast, relishing this chance to reassert himself in the match. We were talking there about the UK Open. That was actually the only Matchroom individual event where he got to the final in all of 2023, Filler, but was beaten by Eklund Kachi. He got to that final by beating Copigny 11-1. Was also in one other Matchroom final last year, playing for Germany at the World Cup, along with his pal Moritz Neuhausen. Beat New Zealand comfortably, but tough matches all the way after that. Had to finish strongly against both Canada in round 2 and Poland in the quarterfinals. Close semi-final against China, and then had a chance to equal the record for the most World Cups won by any country when they played Philippines in the final. But they lost that one, and indeed that meant Philippines broke the tie with China, became the first 4-time winners. Well, Ko Pin-Yi could have had all these if he'd made that long pot early on in the rack. But after that shot, it looks inevitable this is going the way of the German. And he's immediately back into the lead at 4-3. Think back to that rack just a little earlier where he had to keep coming with all those really impressive shots after Ko had missed the 5. Is there anyone in the game as good as him at coming through a rack like that where you keep having to pull out difficult pots?
Yeah, I mean, Michael, real shame for Ko Pin-Yi that, because we've already spoke about it. It just looks a little bit edgy, rightly so as well. Let's not forget it's the semi-final. He's trying to keep his trophy. He's playing filler, who's German, in Germany. You know, it's a very good crowd here today for semi-finals and final day. But I thought after that genius shot on the 9 and then winning the rack before the break, I thought, oh, okay, maybe he's going to kick on here, but it's another long pot, Michael, that's gone wrong. And moving forward in this match, any long pot he's faced with now, he's going to have doubt.
Yeah, no question about it. These things do get in your head. And likewise, if you're making all the long balls, then as they keep coming up later in the contest, you're full of belief.
Rack 8, Joshua Filler to break. Leading 4 racks to 3.
Where's the cue ball? Yeah, it was tracking, wasn't it? It was tracking. Held his hand up, but we'll be happy.
When you look at the split of the balls, if Ko had been given ball in hand, would have been a massive favourite to level things up again.
Couldn't pot the ball, but he could play a save. Good save. Ko will hit this, you think? He certainly got off the bottom rail. Not saying that's what he's gonna attempt. Yeah, he's coming up. Can he miss the 6 ball and find that little gap in between the 8 ball and the purple 5? That would be nice. If he could, he would try and hit the second rail and pot the blue 2. But he knows coming this way, he's definitely guaranteed the hit. Not guaranteed
Extension call.
to get safe though, is he? Decision time. Well, he's decided to go off the short rail to guarantee the hit. Needs a lot of help from the 8 ball, and he isn't gonna get it. Filler with a chance.
Filler has won an event on the World 9-Ball Tour already this year. Beat Piers Labutus in a hill-hill finish to take the Derby City Classic in January. And that was a ranking event, the first he'd won actually since late 2022 when he won in Slovenia.
cue ball is a little short of pace. Now, I don't know if he can hold the cue ball now, so he may have to come down towards the 9. And because the 9's in the middle of the table, you've got to miss it either side. Don't cannon the 9. He's held it okay. Leaves the 7 a little longer.
Well, there was literally nothing Ko could do about it in the first couple of racks. He went 2-0 down. He responded well. Now he's right back where he started from, 2 behind, because Filler has made it 5-3.
Yeah, the kick shot Ko played, he wanted to go off the top rail, to be honest, because he had more chance of getting away with it. The percentages were there, but he backed away from the shot. He didn't like it because there wasn't a lot of gap between them balls. He went off the bottom rail and he left it on for Filler, so maybe that was a bit of a wrong decision there from Ko.
What's that he's got there? Is he on the apple juice?
Maybe some sort of green tea, apple juice.
Look how eager he is to get on with it. Been talking for a couple of years about the prospect of him winning the title. Big title in his home country, as we look there at the mystery drink once again. He's had opportunities at the European Open in Fulda for the last couple of years. Been in a quarter-final, then a semi-final. Looking to get the job done today. And he leads 5-3.
Yeah, that's a better break. And what I mean by that is maybe not the cue ball, because he's lost it to the top rail, but I mean potting the 1 in the side.
Been assured it is apple juice. Will he enjoy the fruits of success today, Carl?
We may see the rollout. You can see it. Oh, maybe you can see more on this 2 ball than actually thought. Maybe you can even pot it. Couldn't pot it. Played the carrot. 2 ball was always going safe. But maybe he just played the carrot to stay at the table, so he's guaranteed the next shot at the table.
Yeah, that's it. A pot is never wasted, even if it doesn't set you up with the chance to pot something else. Gives you the opportunity to stay in control of the rack. And we know when it comes to these big days and these big events, a lot of new people watch 9-ball pool. Basics of it are, so long as you hit the lowest numbered ball remaining on the table first, any pot is legal and keeps you at the table. And the winner is the player who pots the 9-ball, irrespective of how many have been potted up until then. Which sounds strange when people first hear about it, but when you see it in action, particularly played by very good players, it all makes sense.
Get the cue ball over towards the 6 with loads of spin. Yes, he can. I'm telling you now, that is a beautiful shot, a beautiful effort. Look how slow he had to play it. Filla's pretty much guaranteed the hit. Modern day jump cue. Pops the cue ball over with ease. Played distance. Played the cue ball up towards the top, knowing that 2 ball will come low. Didn't want to cannon into the 8 ball. He's left a pot, but it's definitely a long pot, Michael, and he's missed a couple so far.
Yeah, and I think that was reflected in the lack of confidence, which was evident in the way he hit that.
Yeah, he's 0 from 3 in long pots. Unlike Filler, he relishes the challenge of the difficult long pot. He loves it.
Yeah, there was a brief moment of anxiety there. You could probably see he was just a little concerned he might run into the red 3 on his way to the rail. Managed to get by it, bounced off the rail, sets up nicely now on the red 3.
Now he's a lefty, so this will be a bit of a stretch. Watch out 8 ball, watch out 9 ball. He's signalling where he wanted the cue ball. He didn't really need to get close to the 5. It was never really going to make it any easier. He was always going to be left with a thin cut.
Extension call.
Yeah, you might be thinking he's got away with that, but it was a smart shot because he knew the cue ball would stay there. He also knew the 5 ball was going to hit the 7. He took a gamble, hitting the right side of the 7 ball would always send the purple 5 over towards that right side of the table. He had the 9, he had the 8 ball, and possibly the 6 ball, the green 6, to stop the pot. If he hits this full, he may pot it. Oh, good effort. Bit of drama in rack 9.
Yeah, obviously 5-3 and a race to 11. Ko won't look at that and think that's in any way insurmountable, but it's that stage of a match where if the lead gets much bigger and there's too much more ground to make up, it might start to feel. So there's little hope of turning it round.
How good is Filler at these type of shots. Look how thin this is. It's a dreadful cutback he's faced with. Goes in the middle.
Well, I don't know how you would even categorise shots like that for a stat, but if there was one, I'm guessing he would be miles ahead of anybody else. The conversion rate for shots like that. Whereas everything he has left now to make it 6-3 looks fairly routine. So from 2-0 up, he only won 1 of the next 4 racks. Joshua Filler is back in control with 3 in a row, and he leads by 3 for the first time in this semi-final. It's 6-3 against the defending champ. Second semi-final will be coming up a bit later. Fedor Gorst practicing ahead of his clash with Jason Shaw. And there's a familiar face, Carl.
Yeah, that is former European and USA Mosconi Cup captain. Also the coach of Fedor Gorst. Gorst has got him in for the big matchup coming up. Gorst versus Shaw. He's been on the phone and got Jorn down to help.
Yeah, 10 times in total he was Mosconi Cup captain, and those American back-to-back wins. So without having built a playing record in it, he's definitely in the category of Mosconi Cup legend.
Yeah, he'll be setting up drills and monitoring things. And
Rack 10.
Sure, he's been watching
Joshua
back
Filler to
home.
break. Leading 6 racks to 3.
And also maybe working on some things where he feels like Fedor's been a little bit inconsistent. Well, this is going to work out absolutely splendid.
Yeah, home favourite Joshua Filler, winner of this title 2 years ago, up against the man who won it last year, Ko Pin-Yi, and from 3-all, Filler has pulled away to 6-3. What a chance here to stretch that further. Well, surprising, really, given how many of them there were, that he didn't win any of the Matchroom individual events in 2023. He had some early exits, really, in them. Last 16 of the US Open to the eventual champion, Ko Ping-chung. Okay, you can account for that, but didn't even get that far at the Spanish Open. Was beaten in the last 32 by the emerging young player, Emil Andre Gangflo. And in the World Championship, he was beaten by Alex Pagulayan. Got sent over to the loser side, made it through, then faced Pagulayan again in the last 64 and went out. First round loser in this event. Did have a good European Open in Fulda, a couple of racks away from getting to the final. Beaten by Anton Raga. Filler's last break and run is in the second rack. Closing in on another here.
Yeah, wants the cue ball to hold up, which it does.
So even at 6-3, it starts to feel like there's not a huge amount in it. So we may now have reached the stage where Ko Pin-Yi really needs something special to turn this round. That's 4 in a row after what was probably the shortest rack of the match so far. Joshua Filler leads Ko Pin-Yi by 7 racks to 3, and having just won 4 on the bounce, he needs another 4 to go through to the final. Here's the break again, Carl.
Yeah, one ball into the side pocket, controlled the cue ball nicely, and the rest, well, it was history. The ball set up nice, didn't they? It was a break and run.
His third of the match. It wasn't a promising start to the campaign by any means. 4-1 down against Declan Catchy, looking very out of sorts. Turned it round with 4 in a row and later pulled away from 6-all for a 9-6 win. And it was quite similar, I guess, against Ko Ping-chung yesterday. It was close enough early on at 4-3. Then he won all of the next 5 to get to the hill. Ko Ping-chung got
Rack
one back,
11.
but Filler finished it
Joshua
out
Filler
at
to break.
10-4.
Leading 7 racks to 3.
So is it going to be the third match in a row where after a closely matched start, he moves through the gears to advance? 7-3. So if that 2 drops in the side, becomes a very big favourite. It wasn't to be, so let's see what he comes up with.
It's long, you can pot it, but after you pot it, what do you do on the red 3?
Push out call.
Push out for Philip. Just shows you the difficulty in what he was faced on the blue 2.
Extension call.
Roll the 3 on the left rail, isn't he? Because it doesn't pop past the 5.
Yeah,
but he's put it into a position where he can play the combo, so it's not really safe. He's tested him in here. This is a brave move. I mean, you fancy Ko on a normal day to pot this, but Villa has identified his 0 from 3 on long pots, so he's playing a bit of the mind game here. He's asking the question.
Providing the answer is the sort of thing that might develop into a turning point. Only if you can come up with that answer. Copenhagen's own route to the last 4 has taken him past 2 Spanish opponents, beat David Al-Qaedi 9-4, which means Al-Qaedi still not won a match in this tournament since he won it for the 2nd time 5 years ago. And then that 10-1 win over Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. And that long pot stat there, Carl, goes a long way towards telling the story of this match so far.
That's the beauty of the push out, though. You can play mind games. It's like a game of chess against your opponent. Villa knows Ko's not really at the races with them long balls, so he's decided to put a little teaser out there. I like it.
He will like that.
Well, how do you play the kick and slip from there? You have got to hit the 2 ball so pure. That is wonderful. Have a look at the cue ball there. I must say, Phil's kicking skills of they've become very, very powerful now. He's definitely been working on that side of the game. Copenhagen's going airborne. He's missed it. This may well dress up over the side pocket for Phil. Couple of rails. Maybe use the 3rd rail to get position. Maybe he couldn't avoid the cannon then. I thought he could. Oh man, it's gone wrong. Well, this is a scary shot. He's trying to flick off the edge. I presume he's left it because his body language wasn't great. Even if he hasn't left the pot, he knows the jump shot's easy because it's a big pocket. Look where the purple 5 is. He'd only have to jump over the edge. Yeah, he's only got to jump over the edge of the 6 ball here. The 3 ball could hit the rail and then go in to the pocket off the purple 5. Should never really miss this at this level. He's lost the cue ball though. Didn't want to draw the cue ball back. Well, it's definitely getting to the point of a must-win rack.
Extension call.
7-4 or 8-3 just feels like worlds apart, doesn't it? Especially when it's winner breaks, because if it's 7-4, Cole would have the break. Still fancies knocking this ball in. 6 ball's going to move, the green 6. Oh, he's missed the pot again. He's just not been at the races in this match. 4, 5, maybe 6 balls he's missed. Opportunities, they're just going.
Yeah, and that, I think, more than perhaps anything else in this match was the moment where it started to feel like it's just not going to be his day. Really isn't a great deal for Filler to do here. Make it 5 on the spin. He really is going the same way as his first 2 matches. Close early on, and then he just disappears into the distance. To become only the 4th player ever to win the World Masters in his home country. Darryl Peach, we mentioned earlier. Raj Hundal, who was representing England when he won it. And Karol Skowerski, who we mentioned. And Kielce, where we were for the World Championship just last year. Starting to feel like a long time since this match was level at 3-all. And Coe had a bit more of the momentum. And Coe probably feels that more than anyone, because he's now facing a mammoth task here. Joshua Filler is 3 away from a place in the final. He leads 8-3. You've been with Joshua Filler in the team room at various Mosconis, Carl. I always imagine that if Jason Shaw is the real playing leader of the team, that Joshua Filler is probably a bit quieter than that, but every bit as much of a leader in his own way. What's your experience of that been?
Yeah, well, he's definitely not quiet in the sense of, you know, shy and timid. He's always dancing around, screaming and shouting. It's like you've got your 8-year-old with you. But he's a fun character.
Yeah, I just meant a bit quieter than Jason, but then everyone's a bit quieter than Jason. Feddergorst still working away ahead of his semi-final, which may not be very far away now, and you can see in the distance beyond him there his opponent Jason Shaw. Both of them looking to win this title for the first time.
Rack 12.
Shaw has been
Joshua
one
Filler's
rack
break.
away from it in the past.
Leading 8 racks to 3.
Both of these men have won the World Masters. It's Joshua Filler who looks to have the best chance at the moment of doing so again. He's cruising here. Again, Carl, look how excited the crowd got there. It looked as though there was any chance of the golden break. And that's really the response to the people, the small group of people really, who think it's something that should be eliminated from the game.
Yeah, I'm certainly not one of them. I think golden breaks can happen at crucial times to turn matches on the head. Everyone gets them as well. It's not like, it's not something you practice. It's all about putting the one in the side, and you can see Filler's done that, but he's no real shot on the blue too.
Extension call.
because the two ball's so close to a pocket, playing the push is hard. He's trying to go off the top rail and kick this ball. Oh, he went into it. He went into it. Look at this. It's been unfortunate if he's left that little gap, but it was a good effort.
A World Masters win last year was the start of a pretty solid summer for Ko Pin-Yi. Got to the semi-finals of the UK Open soon after, quarter-finals of the Spanish Open. He did win a ranking event late in the year in Singapore. And that is one way of getting back into the match. He's lost 5 racks in a row. And he stopped that sequence there. Still a long way to turn it round, but Filler's lead has cut ever so slightly to 8-4. After losing 5 racks in a row in this semi-final, Ko Pin-Yi needed to get something happening, and it just has, Carl.
Yeah, he played a good 2-ball save. He held his hand up, but I think he's been a bit keen there. He knew the cue ball were cannon in towards the 9-ball area. The main thing is he got a good 2-ball. He got distance, and thankfully the 9-ball fell in. He's got work to do though.
I think a raised hand may be a reflection of the fact that he and his brother are perhaps the 2 politest people ever to walk the earth.
Well, he's got a shot on the 2 in the table layout. Table layout looks very inviting. There's no clusters, there's no real tricky positional shots.
Looking to reach his 2nd Matchroom final already this year. Went down 7-4 to Shane Van Boening in the Premier League final in Connecticut just a few weeks ago.
This is a very good chance, isn't it? There's a bit more breathing space because we're up to a race to 11 now. It was a race to 10 in the previous round and a race to 9 in round 1.
Mentioned earlier, he's been a World Cup winner in the past. That team event back in 2015. I guess the real dream would be to win it with his brother. He had a decent run at it last summer in Spain. Got through the first couple of rounds against Finland and the Netherlands, who were a very strong pairing. We're only 1 rack away from winning their quarterfinal against the Philippines, who of course went on to win the whole thing. Ko Pin-Yi hasn't run out from the break at any stage in this match. But he has now, and with 2 in a row, he's closer to 8-5. Big big news, of course, Carl, is that you are going to be playing in a ranking event in Scotland next week. How are you feeling?
Not feeling too clever about it, if I'm being honest. Also, Jeremy Jones is playing as well.
Well, Jeremy's drawn Yanni Uski in the first round. Have you looked at the draw?
Yeah, I did look. He's a Vietnamese player. So I'm not too sure. And I'm not really looking forward to it because this is what I've got to put up with. It's stats like this. The biggest stat for me is the missed pots. Villa yet to miss a single ball. And it's Ko Ping-yi who has missed 5. He's missed 3 long pots. All good chances at the table. That's why the scoreline is 8-5. Taking nothing away from Villa, he has played flawless. Michael, he's played some crafty
Rack
little
40.
pots as well, hasn't he? Some nasty
Ko
little
Ping-yi's break.
cutbacks.
Trailing 8 racks to 5.
Itching to get back to the table and see this out. But Ko is the man in control of proceedings at the moment, albeit he still trails by 3.
See where the 2 balls finished. He's down pretty quick. Well, he was having a look for a minute, so he's definitely spotted something. Is he looking at playing off the edge, the left edge of the 2? To get distance. Boy, this is difficult. Yeah, that was just all a little bit messy, wasn't it? It didn't look on that show, that pace.
Ko Ping-chung is looking on, giving us the thumbs up, so I'll be quite happy about how the last couple of racks have gone for his brother. Ko Ping-chung beaten yesterday by Joshua Filler in the quarters.
Extension call.
Yeah, I thought that's the shot Cole was attempting from distance at first. If he can hit full ball on the 2, so head on, face, there's a lot of balls on the table. This is what the players are looking for when they're kicking. Looking at clusters and they're looking at where the balls are set out.
Extension call.
In between left centre of the middle pocket and the brown 7, if you can find the bottom rail, there's a kick and stick on. He looked at the other rail first and then maybe kind of spotted this one. Got to be careful with the scratch though, haven't you? You've got to hit this perfect. It's a little look. He hasn't got it. Filler's at the table and he's got a pot. It's an easy pot. If he gets on the red 3, the balls are there. I'm not saying Filler will have been sat in his chair a little bit worried, but you are thinking winner breaks. If he puts a 3 or a 4 pack together, he could be back in the match. So this will just get that gap back to where it was. Comfortable position for Filler. This looks okay.
It was the last of the Gibraltar era 2 years ago for this tournament when Joshua Filler won it for the only time so far. Oh, never mind that for a moment. What's gone wrong there, Carl?
Well, I thought there was an issue with the TV for a moment. Just pushed it into the short rail. Been so reliable in this match. That's his first missed pot, Michael.
Yeah, and many of those that he's got were much greater difficulty than that. Potentially very big moment here if Ko can win this. Get back to 8-6, but just as I say that, he's run aground.
The simple fact is, Ko Ping-yi has just not been at the races in this semi-final. What an opportunity he had there from the only missed ball from Filler. All he had to do was get on the purple 5. Now he's airborne, still at the table. But even if he pots this, how do you get on the green 6? Yeah, the crowd are acknowledging the jump shot, and rightly so. But he still isn't on the green 6, but he is at the table. Look at the balls bouncing away there as it flies into the pocket. Well, decision time. What options have you got here? Is he tempted for a full table bank in the top left corner? He would be on the 7 ball. Is it there? It's not there. I don't blame him. He needs some help from the brown 7. And he's got it. Drama here. Coming to the closing stretch of the first semi-final.
Oh yeah, these are the biggest moments of the match so far, for sure.
Gonna leave a pot. It's longish, but this should not cause Ko any problems whatsoever. It's a little stop shot. So for the second time of asking, can he wrap this rack up? And this will get him right back in this match.
So from 3-all, he lost 5 in a row, but now it's 3 on the spin for Ko Ping-yi, and he's back to only 2 behind at 8-6. Well, it looked for all the world as though Filler was going to reassert himself and go 9-5 in front, but then, Carl, this sequence of events that we're about to see now unfolded.
Yeah, you just got the impression there when Ko was getting the balls out, helping the ref. I think he's got second wind here, Michael. He's got a spring back in the step. And rightfully so, because to be 8-3 down and it now be 8-6, look at the missed pink 4 from Filler. That is rare, it's very rare.
But then, in potting the 4 himself, Ko left himself a tough jump shot, made it.
Then he went for the bank. He knew he was going to be on the 7 if he made it. A little bit fortunate where it finished, but let's not forget, Filler missed a pink 4, and Filler's been punished as the 9 goes in. He's now 8-6.
Rack
but
15.
Ko has the
needs
break.
Trailing 8 racks to 6.
Cue balls flying around the table. The 2 balls not moved. Often that's the case when it's racked underneath the 1 ball. I think that's where it was racked. Yeah, you see where it is? See how it doesn't move? Players know this, by the way. Pool players are very savvy when it comes to the rack. It's one of them testers. I think we would class this as a long pot, and it's got to go in the middle. If he plays it quite firm and it catches the rail, it'd be one of them where it'd wobble and maybe fall. Oh, he's thumped it in. He's thumped it in. He's feeling it. He smells this is his chance to get right back into this match. If you want to turn a match around, you can't play shots half-hearted. You've got to play the game, you know, you've got to play the correct shot.
It wasn't just that he was a long way behind. There was a real lack of confidence in the way he was playing his shots. I think that was what suggested he was really unlikely to turn things around. But this hasn't gone to plan.
No, he needed the cue ball to roll another inch.
Extension call.
He may have to play the cross bank. He can play the cross bank into the top right corner pocket. If he misses it, he wants to hit the long rail. That way the 5 ball finds the top short rail as a safety, and he can spin the cue ball in behind the cluster of 3, the 8 ball, the 9 ball, and the green 6. Kind of like this shot. And he's got an outside chance of making the bank. So he's played. Oh, and he stayed over the pocket. Another roll, another little bit of spin. That have fell. You could see the 5 ball was spinning off the new cloth. Have another look.
One of those where you're just waiting for it even while it's pausing there, thinking, there's no way it can stay on the table. It's like someone's thrown it a life ring.
This ball is deep. I have no clue how you get on the 6. He's trying to go rail first. Oh, look at this. He needs to slow down now. He needs to slow down.
That is absolutely magnificent. It really was the only way he had any hope of getting on the 6. Couldn't play it direct. Hope to know much about what the cue ball was going to do afterwards.
The 8 ball to stop because he doesn't want to cover the pot, which he hasn't. What a twist and turn we've had in the last couple of racks in this match. Filler is 8-3 up.
Yeah, it's been an eventful 20 minutes or so, but none of that will matter to Filler in the end if he finds himself in the final. And now the winning line is starting to come into view. He'd lost 3 in a row, but Filler goes 3 clear again at 9-6. Biggest rack of the semi-final so far, no doubt about it. And this was the key moment. Going rail first, potting the 5 that was sitting over the pocket. And how good was this to get back round for the 6? Ko Pin-Yi had won 3 racks in a row prior to this and was looking to get back to only 1 behind against Joshua Filler. But the German, off the back of that, has reasserted himself now as he looks to reach the final here. After doing the hard work. The 9 was basically a formality. So he's 3 clear again. It's 9-6.
Leading 9 racks
and he's
to
2
6.
racks away from his second appearance in a World Masters final. And he's just furthered his course a little more in that direction.
Well, this has come out absolute wonderful for Filler. What a chance to get on the hill.
You know, he just cruised through to the final. The only previous time he's been in it 2 years ago. 7-1 against Skylar Woodward, then 7-0 against Dennis Orcolio, and 7-3 against Ko Pin-Yi in the semis, which meant he'd won his first 3 matches by a combined score of 21-4. The only really close match he had was the final against Loh Ho Sum, who was probably the least known of all his opponents, but had gone on that great run to the final. Filler won at 9-6. Amazing run he was on at that time. He won the UK Open off the back of that a few weeks later.
This just demonstrates how much pressure and how ruthless 9-ball can be. Because if you have opportunities like the one Filler has now and you don't take them, you can be severely punished. Because at 8-6, Ko Pin-Yi had a chance. He hooked himself on the 5 partially. He missed that cross bank. Filler played a genius positional shot to get on the 6, and now he's about to record a break and run to get on the hill.
Yeah, he started the match with 2 break-and runs. First couple of racks. This is poised to be his first since then. Well, he's making slightly harder work of these last couple of balls than we would have expected. Still be quite a shock if he didn't pot this 9. But he is using his extension, and why not? I think he really needed it. The 9 wriggles in, and Joshua Filler with a very swift 16th rack gets himself to the hill. Well, he's not blitzing past his opponents this week, Carl, but he's getting the job done.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's played a great semi-final here. It was just when he missed that pink 4 ball, wasn't it? Looked like he was going to do a number on Ko Pin-Yi. Kind of turned the match around a little bit, but you just feel like Ko's handed it back to Filler, don't you?
And the eagerness of a few racks ago is back. He knows the only way he's missing out on the final now is if Ko Pin-Yi wins 5 racks in a row, and you just know what he's thinking. Just get a good break here, make a ball, and make this uncomplicated. Jason Shaw against Fedor Gorst in the second semi-final, coming up very shortly.
Joshua Filler to break on the hill, leading 10 racks to 6. Now stroke.
Well, he did make a ball off the break. He scratched as well. First time we've seen either player do that.
Yeah, he seemed to put a bit more power into the break there. Well, he just lost a cue ball. Didn't come back in a parallel line, did it? Arced towards the centre. Did end up flicking the red 3 ball though to scratch. Well, still very much in this match. It doesn't feel like it, but it truly is.
Well, look at it this way. Great chance to win this rack. Then he's breaking, wins that one as well. It's 10-8, and then it's anybody's contest again.
Yeah, and you've always got that possibility, Michael, of one of these like golden breaks, or the 9 sits up for an easy combo, so you might not be put through stress of running a difficult rack or playing safeties. You could get one of these little nice freebies that you get so often. You'd certainly be wishing that the case. Usually Co's so reliable at clearing the table, but just because he's missed some balls and made some positional errors, he's just making me feel like this rack is not yet over. Still got to get this job done. What's crucial here is he comes further enough across the table to make sure he leaves the correct angle on the green 6, because the brown 7's at the bottom end of the table. You leave it short like this, now he's got to go up the top of the table. So this is where your cue ball and your positional play is so crucial, and he's one of the best. But he's not been in the semi-final. He's got work to do here. He's got a couple of balls to avoid, the 9 and the 8 ball.
Extension called.
Ooh, just slipped past the 9. He should see it out from here. He knows he was a fraction away from running aground then. So, first scratched break of this semi-final. From Filler. Gave the chance to Ko Pin Yi, and he has availed of it to stay right in this match. It's 10-7. It's a game which probably offers more scope for turning things around from big deficits than any other, really, because of all the momentum that's involved and the winner breaks rule. We've seen that in evidence so many times over the years.
Yeah, this is what makes it such a fast-paced, exciting game to play on a pool table. This was the break from Philip. Just kind of hit the cue ball, not quite where he wanted. So it arced towards the side. Actually potted the 1 ball as well.
He's got the tissue out, so maybe he is still affected by that cold that he's had for the last few weeks. Ko Pin Chung just coming over there to have a word with his brother. That's all perfectly legal, all within the rules.
Rack 18. Ko Pin Yi to break. Trailing 10 racks to 7.
Maybe he's telling him what's for lunch, what's on the menu.
Well, we'll be hoping they don't get to lunch for another half hour or so, because he still needs to win another 4 racks.
Needs a shot on the 2. Difficult to see if he can chop the 2 ball in the middle pocket. He's coming round to have a look. Even if he can, the cue ball's going to be moving fast, which means it's difficult to get position on the red 3. super thin. He controlled the cue ball. Very impressive there. This pink 4 does go in both left corner pockets, top left, bottom left. Super difficult shot to get perfect from the angle that he had. Cue ball's hitting the rail quick and it just flies across the table. That's why he's not landing straight on this pink 4. And just take care of this and get good on the purple 5. We're in for a real
Extension call.
nervy finish to this match. And he's feeling it.
The sort of shot that tests your nerve. I think we saw a little bit of that in evidence in the way he played it, but it's wriggled in, and he's on the 5.
Joshua Filler, who's been potting them type of shots in this match. In the middle of the pocket, Cole struggled. Couldn't avoid rolling into the 9 ball there, so he had to use the edge of it.
Now this is the sort of shot that earlier on in the match, you wouldn't have backed him with stolen money. But he's looking at a different player now, and that should open the door to getting back to 2 behind.
Yeah, can't stress how nicely he hit that ball. It was a steep angle. These tables are very quick, and if any of you are watching and you've never actually played on a 9 ball table, you don't realise how big the balls are. So the spin and the speed of everything is magnified.
Well, we said it, didn't we? When he had the chance, the previous rack, if he could win that, get the break back, then win that rack, suddenly it's 10-8. And with his second break and run of the match, he's done exactly that. Copigny has every chance of winning this match now. He's only 2 behind.
Well, what an ending. He has hung in, he's dug deep. He knows he's not quite been at the races in the sense of, you know, he's missed a few balls in queuing, but...
Maybe they were talking about lunch, Carl. He's brought them something to eat. It has been a long match.
Why not? Maybe he just feels a little bit weaker, so he needs some sort of energy in his body, because he knows he's got a chance in this match. 10-8, he only needs the last 3, and the last 3 racks is not a big deal.
Especially when he's breaking in the first of those. And Joshua Filler's moods have changed through the match. He was looking a little bit edgy at times early on, and then really seemed to relax and be relishing it. He was getting out of his chair quickly. Couldn't wait to get on with the next rack when he was winning them.
Rack 19.
He was a bit concerned at letting slip the chance to play in a really big final in his home country.
10 racks to 8.
This is the man trying to take that opportunity away from him.
Mr. 1 ball, he needs cover. He's come around to have a look. He has cover. Filler with a rollout, or the push as we call it over here.
the ideal time to bring into play your first dry break of the match.
Push out called.
Thinking, is he going to try and tie something up just to give him some sort of insurance?
Copigny, it's your choice.
Not really. I think Ko will play this shot. And I don't think he'll play the pot, but I think he'll play the safety. I think he can get the cue ball over towards that left corner pocket, top left corner pocket. Because the brown 7's there, and then he's got the blue 2 and the red 3 for cover. Here he comes to have a look at this. Yep. He's just looking at what kind of target area he's got where the cue ball finishes, and then he's imagining where the 1 ball finishes. So Filler ain't getting this one back, I can assure you. It's all about speed though. Speed is key on this safety. Yeah, so it's going over towards the brown 7, and it was always the blue 2 and the red 3. Now, is there a combination on? Is there a combination on off the rail? Look where the 1's finished. The 4 ball, the pink 4's close here. He's going to kick it off the side rail and try and pop the pink 4 in the bottom left corner. Tell you what, Michael, this has been some match. I think it's been the match of the tournament so far for me.
Oh yeah, it has to be. I think the 2 Van Boening matches, the one that he won and the one that he lost, were the 2 standout ones in terms of drama and narrative prior to this. I agree. I think this has overtaken them both.
As Copigny walks back to his chair, he will have glanced at where the 1 ball's finished. Because I tell you what, Filler can go off the top rail and he has an outside chance of potting the 9 ball. He's got to hit the 1 ball full. So it's not easy, but it's definitely on. Where's the 1 ball going to finish? Looks like it's going near the pocket.
It's right over it. But the 8 is intervened.
Instinct tells me he might be able to go off the bottom rail with left spin and just flick it in. Obviously the cue ball would then crash into the 8 ball, so he doesn't really know where the cue ball's going to finish. The blue 2's in the middle of the table.
Extension called.
If he can somehow manufacture a way of following the 1 ball and getting on the 2, another very good chance.
Intrigued to see what angle he's faced with here. Behind the pocket.
Foul stroke, ball in hand.
Oh, and look at what he's left now. So is this the moment for Joshua Filler? Looks a little bit embarrassed almost. Well, if that is to be the end for Copigny, at least he's gone down swinging. So from 3-all, Joshua Filler pulled away to 8-3. Copigny came back so strongly, got it back to 8-6, and Filler won the next 2. Break and run in the 16th rack, getting him to the hill at 10-6. Aubigny responded with 2 of his own. But is his race all but run?
Difficult to see how close to the side
Extension call.
this ball is. You can play it up into the top corner. Yeah, the cue ball will roll forward. Just make sure you pot the ball here. Position on the purple 5 is guaranteed. And the speed of the shot, yeah, nicely done. Good shot. I think the 6 goes in both corners as well. It's not like he needed to be on a particular angle on the purple 5. And if you look where the 8 ball is, it's the easiest ball in the world to get on the 9.
We've talked so much over the last couple of years about Joshua Filler's quest to win one of these big titles in his home country. He's had plenty of opportunities. In the summer of 2022 in Fulda, his hopes of doing it there ended at the quarter-final stage. Back in Fulda in 2023. His quest took him all the way to the semi-finals.
Yeah! And now in Hildesheim in 2024, he will contest the World Masters final.
Well, Aubigny made a real match of it. The defending champion found something late in the game to give himself hope of emulating Shane Van Boening and becoming only the 2nd player ever to successfully defend the World Masters title. He got it back to only 2 behind, coming towards the finish. But Joshua Filler got his opportunity there in rack 19 and has finished off the job. He was World Masters champion 2 years ago. He may well be World Masters champion again later today. And the light reflecting on Aubigny's banner has just turned to red. There are only 3 players left who can win this World Masters title. Joshua Filler is absolutely delighted to be one of them. They are some of the numbers you can see. Plenty of break and runs from Joshua Filler. He started off the match with 2 of them in a row. And look at the number of balls missed by Aubigny. That was a big factor in it. Couldn't get near a long pot really early on. But improved his long potting later on. Says 0% there. He did make 1 or 2 long balls later on in the game. But really it was one of those matches you had to see it to really grasp the full extent of just how much Aubigny put it up to Joshua Filler. In a match that looked to really be almost gone from him. It wasn't just the fact he was so far behind, it was the fact he was playing without any confidence. On the challenging shots, it was really ebbing away from him. So Joshua Filler is through to the final. He's the first man to get there, and he's down on the floor now, talking to Carl and to Di.
Thank you very much, Michael. Joshua, winner, you're through to the final. How are you feeling?
Yeah, awesome, to be honest. It's been a crazy good match from both of us, but he missed more than I did, and I think the 4 ball I missed once, made it closer than it actually should be. So this 4 ball is still in my head, and then
Really?
if I would, yeah, of course. But then of course the scratch in the side didn't help. So I was thinking, don't run out of set, please, God. And I was just waiting for another chance.
Yeah.
Luckily, I got one. I had to kick a ball. Luckily, I hooked him. He made a foul, and from there, luckily, I took the match.
Yeah, Josh really jumped on the opportunities, didn't he?
Yeah, could you sense at the beginning he was struggling? He missed quite a lot of long pots, and you played a push out where can you remember it, where you rolled it down here and you left a long 2-ball? Was you testing him because you felt like he was struggling, knowing that if he puts you back in, you'd knock the long 2-ball in?
No, I was not thinking about that. I was actually trying to play the 3-ball, freeze it to the cushion,
tighter.
because
Right,
if he would have made the 2-ball, he could have played a combo. So I didn't want to test him, but I didn't know where else to put the cue ball, to be honest. It was a tricky situation, but luckily he missed that, and yeah.
Yeah, he played very strong in the semi-final. I thought it was probably the best match of the event so far. You know, it had the twists and the turns.
Yeah, it certainly did. It was a bit of a roller coaster for us. And you've got your friends and family here today in the audience. They've just been cheering you. How are you feeling as well? This is the winning moment. You've been a little bit under the weather, but you've fighting spirits there. We love the celebration. It's a good feeling, isn't it, to win?
Yeah, I mean, when you play the best players in the world, it's always tough. You can't afford, make too many mistakes, otherwise you're gonna lose. You know, the break was also tough in the beginning for me, but in the middle of the match, I tried to find it, and I found it luckily. And of course, the crowd helps a lot.
Yes.
Thanks for cheering me on once again.
Oh, they've been great. They've been really good.
It's just awesome to play in front of family and friends. Of course, there's more pressure, but the more pressure, it's harder to deliver. But I somehow, kind of find a way to do it, and it's just great to be here and have fun.
Well, congratulations. Let's just confirm that you are through to the final. This is the semi-final results. We have another semi-final coming our way. Just stay with us, Josh, because do you want to play Fed or Gorse, or do you want to play Jason Shaw?
I want to play the better one. So
right, okay.
We're going to see.
Diplomatic
We're going to see.
Great stuff. Congratulations. Are you feeling okay? Because you have not been feeling brilliant.
Yeah, well, I'm still fighting with coughing, and I was sick for 3 weeks, but it's still there. But when you're here, you try to.
The adrenaline goes, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course. I just try to, think about 9-ball and get chances and run out and play great.
Go and take some deep breaths. You're through to the final. You won this event in 2022. It'd be pretty cool to win it 2 years later.
Yeah, of course. That's what I'm here for. But it's going to be tough anyway. I need, in this set, of course, I had some lucky rolls again.
Yeah.
But you need that playing those guys. You need that for sure. But you can't. It's just hard to say, but I'm just going to try to find my rhythm again.
Stay in the moment, stay present.
Positive.
Yeah.
Probably work more on the break, because the 1-ball hasn't been that consistent, actually. But yeah, this is what I can, work on, and we will see how it goes in the final.
Okay, that was a big game. Carl, we've got another massive game coming our way. We're going to take a really short break, and Josh, you can have a little bit of respite. I'm sure you're going to have eyes all over this, though. It is Jason Shaw taking on Fed or Gorse. Do not go anywhere.